Just did.
Hello, I'm Stan Bush, and I am here with Ron Snaberger and Andy Lyons, and we're going to be talking about how to host a blab today. No Blabbus Interruptus, as if you've watched our blabs before, our shows before. It's a little bit of a twist, though, in the last couple of weeks, or in the last beginning of February. We've been pushing the beginning of the show. We've been really getting through the mechanics of how to do it, but then we've got these really interesting people like who are possibility partners that are going to tell you how they do things. And so how are you doing today, Andy?
I am Andy-licious. It's a wonderful day. It's cold here in Boston. We just had some more snow come through, but I feel fabulous. Thank you. And thank you very much for having me, everyone.
We thank you for being here. It was such great news. And I will tell you this. You know, I went to Boston a couple of weeks ago.
I know. You made it in and out. I
got in there, and I will tell you that I will never travel to Boston during that weather again, ever. I had I knew I was only going to be there for one day, so I didn't have I had sweatpants, we went down to, if you know Boston, so that Faneuil Hall area, where the wind is coming through.
I stay away from there during January and February. It comes off the coast and it is freezing. It drops 30 degrees just from the wind chill factor. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I had to. It was one of the very few times when I've been with somebody said, I don't know where we're going, but we can't stay here. Right? Like we talked. I said, this is brutal.
There's not enough hot toddy to drink. And I know that it's all about the clothing you wear. It's not about bad weather. There are not enough layers for that. There really aren't. And to remind everybody, Stan was up here during that huge blizzard that took over, Washington, D.C. and New York and shut everything down. So we were fortunate. We didn't get hit by that, but Stan flew over it. Did you? I mean, how'd you?
I basically flew over it, but at least they say I did. But when I got there, I'd still talk, and I'd have to wait for my words to unfreeze when we got inside, so if somebody could hear them. It was just, it was awful. So, what about you, Ron? How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. I just want to tell the people before we get started to tell a little birdie over there on the left-hand side and to post to Facebook. And if you have any questions as we're going along, /Q, a space, and then type out your question, and it'll appear in the question box on the left, as well as show up as a question in the comment stream. And then that way it lets it easier for us to see it, and we can move on that way. So I'll let Stan start it off, and sometime he'll probably let me join in somehow or another.
Well, Ron, I'm going to tell you something. Andy just noticed the signs, and she just loved him. I could tell by the big smile.
I'm loving those props.
Well, we have to tell you that's the entire advertising budget for us. You saw the entire graphics department that we have right there in those signs. So what we're going to do is we'll talk about how to host a blab. And the first portion I'm going to read, I'm very mechanical when it comes to this. The first portion of this blab is to help people learn how to host a blab. It's going to be about 10 minutes long. It's fast-paced with a clear goal. We want to give you the confidence to host a blab. We don't answer a lot of questions from the audience during this time, but we do welcome you to use the queue and put them in the queue over on the right-hand side in the comment section. We ask that you hold all questions until the end. If you want to come in, the seat will become open. It is locked during the actual show. Once it's opened up, there'll be a little circle there that will look like this. It'll be open, and you can click in that and call in once that's open. We're the Circadians. Our community isn't built around any one individual. We all live, work, and thrive in a guru-free zone. Everybody is equal. Everybody matters, and everybody has their own special gift. And the sum of those gifts is greater than the individual. And if you'll notice, I can say that right off the top of my head without having to read that, because that's exactly how we think. We create event-driven, outcome-oriented business building platforms and events. In this case, to describe that, the event is the blab. The outcome is that we want you to be able to host a blab at the end of it and be able to feel comfortable doing that. And in business building is that we hope that you'll follow and join us at somebody will put the link in there for the co-hosting program as well as the site. And the rules of Blab. The Blab doesn't really have any rules, but they do have some guidelines. And they are, the first one is respect each other. Number 2 is honor the viewer's time. Let others talk. Don't be an awful person to be around. Argue the point, not the person. And the host sets the rules to the party unless they conflict with these rules. And the one that we like to make sure that we tell you about is is to argue the point, not the person. That means it's okay to say, I disagree with you, but it's not okay to say, I disagree with you, you big jerk, right? This just not, unless Ron says that to me, but he says that to me in private all the time. So it kind of rolls off my back. And so with that, I'm going to actually mute myself, which is their favorite. It's the rest of the crew's favorite part. And I'm going to let Ron talk to you about how to do the technical aspects of hosting the Blab. And then I'm sure at that point, I'm going to turn it over to Andy, and you're going to really enjoy hearing about what Andy does. Ron, you ready?
I'm ready. Okay, folks, how to host a Blab. What I want to tell you about is you start a Blab. It's easy. You follow these steps, and you'll be up and running in no time. You click on your profile picture, and then click on Start a New Blab. The next screen will be the Host a Blab screen. On the first line is where you type the subject of your Blab. The number to the right represents the characters in your title. There's 80 characters you can put in. If you put too many in, it just won't let you type anymore, and you have to shorten your title or your subject matter. Once you fill in the title, the tags become available to you, and you can pick 3 of those tags in that list that they have there. The one you do want to go live becomes available, but before you do that, you may want to add a custom image. There's a button for you to click on and add your own image to your Blab. Now you want to pick a time and a date to schedule your Blab. Be careful here, is the way Blab computes time. They do it, it'll show up in your time zone, and you might think it's okay, but if you're scheduling a morning Blab at 10 a.m. in the morning and it's now 11 p.m. in your time zone, make sure that you click AM, because it's going to show up PM because it's in your time zone at the present time. You can come back and edit it later, so it's no big deal, but you just want to double check that and make sure you did it the right way. If you select now, the Blab starts. If you choose a date in the future, a screen will appear, and once you to schedule it in the future, once you start a Blab, you have to join it, and you will be in a screen that will show your picture, and you just have to click on call in, and you'll start the Blab. Now you're in the Blab, and you can lock the other seat if you want. And what it looks like, if you look at our screen there, and that the lock seat, it's just a lock padlock. And when you want people in, you just unlock it. When people ask to join, they'll see a screen, and you'll see a screen. You can click the green arrow to accept them, or the red X to not accept them and disallow them in. You'll see a blue H by the host of the Blab, and to the left of the guest, it'll be a G. You can make them a co-host, and to make them a co-host, you click on their name and their profile, and you click on the H with a plus sign there, and that makes them a co-host. You want to click on the Start Recording button, and the Blab will be recorded. While recording, you'll see a button there that says Pause Recording. You can stop and start the recording during your Blab as many times as you wish. Now that the person you made a co-host, they will have the same access to do things as you do as the host. Let's look at some of the comments in the stream. If you roll over one of the comments, you'll see that there's a star and an arrow. That's how you acknowledge them, the person that made the comment, by clicking on the star. And if more people click on the star, it'll say 2, 3, 4, however many people click on it. And that person can hold their cursor over that, and they'll see who made the comments. As a host, you'll also see a red triangle in the right, and it has an X in there. If you don't like the comment, you can, or if you made a comment and you don't like what you wrote in there, you can click on that red X and it'll remove the content that you put in there or that somebody else put in. When someone types a question in the comment stream on the right and uses the /Q feature, it automatically gets added to the questions column on the left. It can also get upvoted through the likes, stars, and props feature. And if somebody likes the question and they click on that star, it'll keep moving that question up to the top as more people like it. Selecting an answer in the question column will highlight it into one of the boxes in the main Blab screen. Now, if all the boxes are filled with people, you can't pin that comment or that question into one of those open boxes. It has to be open for you to pin the comment, but that way everybody can see the question. And one of the things I want to make clear to you here is if you're doing this and it's recorded, you want to read the question and then answer it because on the replays, the questions don't show up and the comment stream doesn't show up. So you want to read the question so that on the replay, it's not confusing as to what you're going over. Selecting an answer in the question column will highlight it, like I said, in one of the main boxes. If you click on a person's picture, it'll bring up information, and if they're causing a problem, you can block them. It's not going to block them from all of Blab. It's just going to block them from the Blab that you're on. They can get in future Blabs you have, and they can also get back to watching the Blab that you're doing by signing out of their Twitter account and their Blab account and just go to the web and watch it from the web. But they will not be able to participate or comment if they do that. You can see someone's profile by rolling over their image at the top. And you can also get information from them, and that'll help you decide if you want to follow them or not. Now, after the Blab is over and it was recorded, there's a link to upload it to YouTube. Managing multiple YouTube channels is supported by Blab. All you have to do is select the YouTube channel you want to upload it from the screen. After the Blab is over, you'll get an email with links to download your audio, podcast, and video. You'll get the links to the MP3 and the MP4. Now, I went through that kind of quick. We normally don't do it that fast, but we have a guest that we want to get to, and that is Andy Lyons. So I am going to turn it back over to her, and Stan might want to say some things before Andy starts, but I'm done.
Yeah, you did really. I can tell you something, Ron, is that, and because I saw Andy was watching you too. You know the material really good, but after 100, we've done like 160 or 170 Blabs now, and we're quite proud of the fact that we do them every day at 10 o'clock, and that we have never. I'm gonna knock on wood. We have never missed one ever because of any of the technical difficulties that some people have. So it's because we have a great team that's back there that's backing us up, and you did really good. You did really good. I'm going to answer one question. It was, does a host have to know how to properly embed a Blab? And the answer to that question is, what are they going to do with it? We do, tomorrow is how to embed a Blab. And so those questions are better suited for tomorrow, but that is besides. I want to listen to Andy. That's what I've been over here smiling and having a good time about. Is just one of my favorite people, but they don't have to. So Andy,
yes, I am fabulous. You know, you're talking about being a Blab host, and I just want to say I really honor anybody who might be scared of going live on video. It's a lot, and you have this technology. It's a lot to manage, but the delicious energy that comes from, well, we call it the cinematic tension of a live show. There is nothing like it. And Stan just mentioned they've been doing this every day for over 160 days. Go ahead, just start doing one and get going, get your sea legs, so to speak. But I have some very specific things that I think are really important that need to go before the just do it. Because, you know, you want to remember so many things. And number one is why. Why do you want to be a Blab host? Why is it important? Well, in my opinion, it's very important, especially if you're a solopreneur or a small business owner, you really need to connect with people. It's a wonderful way to build your credibility, build trust, build faith. It's a terrific way to build your brand. And it's also a terrific way for you to get conversations started with folks, one conversation at a time. If only 3 people show up to your Blab, it is okay. If only 1 person shows up to your Blab, it's okay. If nobody shows up, then you're going to hit stop record and try again. But really, I just want to encourage everybody. It has been the best thing I've ever done. And I started off doing podcasts, and I'm telling you, with nail biters and scripts prepared when I went live on podcasts. But then, which I've been doing about 4 years. And then it was 3.5 years ago, I started doing Google Hangouts and learning the fine art of going live on video. And I'm telling you, I made every mistake in the book and had every technology issue, which was easy on Google Hangout days. Mm-hmm. But what I knew to be true, and that's because my background as a business owner, is that I knew I needed to always be coming in with why. Why am I doing this? And understanding my brand and being consistent. I think anybody who joins me on my shows knows that I promote a certain way. I brand the show a certain way, just as the circadians are doing too. And I connect in a certain way. I use certain language. It is important. As much as we'd love to be casual and woohoo and all that fun stuff, that's great for cocktail parties. And if you want to have a cocktail party Blab, go for it. But if you really are about sharing content and making connections that will lift your business and lift your brand, then I invite everybody to prepare ahead of time. And, you know, be gentle with yourself too, because it is scary and it's a lot to manage and there's a ton of multitasking. And I believe, you know, Stan, that you have folks who are in the comment stream helping you and supporting you, right?
Yes, because when I get folks like you on, I have this tendency for my face, everything to just drop down. And I pay attention so much because I'm really trying to listen earnestly because I know that the advice that you're giving is spot on. And I try to listen to it. But we have a great team that keeps up with that. You did bring up a question though.
Oh, good.
Yes. It's a question from me. And that is that you said it's important for a business owner to connect. Okay, when a business owner goes to connect, and let's say that business owner is a person that, what type of business owner are you talking about? What if it's a business owner that has a restaurant? Is it important for him to learn the technology to connect, or is it important for him to have somebody help him with it?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because again, you can't be everything. And what would be the why for a restaurant owner to connect? I think it's more important to them perhaps to be showing up at the restaurant and saying hi to their guests every day. But they could do something really fun. Here I am in the kitchen whipping up, you know, who knows what, and this is what we're serving. This is our monthly menu. That could be a lot of fun. And given so many of their customers are on Facebook, if they can grab that Blab video and upload it, it's fabulous. And just as an aside, you know what Blab does beautifully is not only when you hit end record and you're done with your Blab, they send you the video by email. They send you one of the best stripped out audios I've ever heard. And get it on Stitcher, get it on iTunes, get it out there, because a lot of people will just be there with their smartphones and they may not want to watch. They may want to listen on their drive or wherever they are folding laundry or whatever it is. And so I think that's one of the benefits of Blab. But to get back to your point, it could be a chiropractor. It could be, you know, any kind of reach out so that people are reminded of who you are, why you are, and your wonderful energy. And I don't care if you're an introvert, you can make this work for you, even if you're quiet, because there are people who want you. They want that level. But here's another one of my favorite tips. before you go live, you need to raise your vibration. And, you know, again, even if you're an introvert, you need to do something. So here's something I would do, you know, to before I get started. And this is just my personal preference. Okay. So I would start playing, let's say, Get Ready. Y'all ready for this? Okay. You know, whatever. Whatever it is, it could be, you know, an Ethel Merman tune. It could be a Frank Sinatra, whatever it is, lift your vibration up because it is showtime. And just like getting on the stage, if you were at your local Chamber of Commerce that they asked you to step up to speak, or if you were presenting to a group of people, you want to bring it. And your audience deserves you to bring it. They deserve you to get tapped into who you are, why you are, and your energy, and your brand, and your which is, you know, your emotional promise, and how you're always going to consistently be there. And the trust and faith that you build with your audience by taking that time, putting out that extra energy, it comes back to you.
Stan and I have, I have two favorite ones. James Brown, Get Up Off of That Thing. I like that. And then Stan and I have another favorite band, and the lead is Nathaniel Rateliff. We have a favorite tune that
I love him. He was just on the Tonight Show. I love him. That's rock and roll.
Yeah. Give me another drink, or if I can't. I can't think.
We can't say part of it, but yeah.
Oh, and S. Jeff Dennis says he likes the theme of Rocky. Yes. That's you know, that's the way it was.
Well, you bring up. I mean, every time that you know. The new format, it really brings a lot. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you bringing that up, because add music into what they call we called in Google, we call it the green room, right? And here the green room's really open, so you don't really have that, but that would be an excellent idea, is to have that. If you would have come in today, when you came in, and there would have been a little music to kind of set the tone about what we're going to do.
I have my pre-show party. And people are just going to see me sitting there going, you know, and then I do a little grounding ceremony to just really get clear, because it's what's in it for them. You know, I just want to make sure that whatever I say serves my audience and their needs.
I am going to get out because I've got some other people that want to come in and ask questions. It says my question was answered, but I don't see where. And is there a way to do a private blab? The answer is no. Nope, there's not. So that was a quick.
Her question is down a little further. She put it in again.
My question was about the adoption of the platform. Are you seeing a greater variety of industries outside of marketers starting to catch on to Blab? I've got an answer. I've got a personal viewpoint of that, and I would like to hear what Andy's is too.
I think live video, that of course becomes an evergreen recording, suits all industries. Of course, we have the shiny new, I call it the snap syndrome, the shiny new app syndrome. And you'll see, of course, the lemming type of approach. Marketers going like crazy, as they should, because they need to be able to capitalize on it. They need to be able to get that new platform, that new shiny app going, so that they can monetize it. That's what they do for a living, especially if that's the services that they're offering. But you as a business owner really, again, need to say, how am I going to spend my time, and why am I doing this? For me, for those of you who are entering a new industry, if you're reinventing yourself and you're coming in as a new whatever in whatever industry it is, these platforms are phenomenal for building, again, your credibility, your brand presence, and interviewing people can make it really easy. And then you have the whole affiliate marketing benefit from doing that, because not only are you're tapping into their audience, which is wonderful. And again, it lifts you up. It gets you into conversations with folks who are in your industry, and helps you quickly scale to your understanding and your expertise in the industry. So the reason I left this, I came to Blab from Google Hangouts. You know, what I love about Google Hangouts, it's like CNN. It really, the quality, amazing. And if I were talking right now, it would be my face right here. Your face. And I love that. And I love that the fact that it went right from Google Plus into YouTube, many more views, better SEO, but the technology was squirrely. I was never scared about going live ever. I was always concerned how my guest was going to get through it, and I hopefully would get through it too. I never have that concern with Blab. It's very easy for me to get my guest on board. Hardly any training at all. They hardly need anything. And the fact that you come in through Twitter every time, people who know me know that Twitter is my favorite I'm sorry, my favorite social media platform.
My favorite bar.
So it just makes it so easy for me to just be like sharing the Twitter love and the Twitterverse and Twitterville. It just made it very easy. So even though this has a little bit of the Brady Bunch look to it, it's okay. And as you said earlier, Stan, you hit that record button, make sure that you're bringing to folks evergreen content, something that folks who can't be here live can go to and find very relevant. Then you can, after you hit end record, you can do what I do and have the afterglow party. Was it good for you? Yes, it was great.
Well, I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to deliver on my promise and step out for a minute because I know that there are questions from Nina and Tony and others that want to come in for a moment and talk with you. And I will see you in just a little bit, but I'm going to be in the afterglow over here in the sidelines for a little bit.
Thank you, Stan. Miss you already.
I'm going to open the seat up, and Nina, Tony, Michelle, you want to jump in? I know Nina's
Hi.
quick on the button.
Hi, Nina. So nice to meet you.
Thank you for being here. I'm with the Circadians already several months. It's amazing how we can connect, and I'm out of words today because everything you are saying is so resonating with me. Despite that time, it's end of the day here. It's Sofia, Bulgaria, Southeastern Europe.
Yeah.
But actually, we have a lot of common on social media. I cannot explain it like it's a human thing. And I'm helping businesses stepping in the digital world because for my generation, it's something we denied for all the industry. And now, now it's became evident that it's just part of the daily activity.
It really is.
Yeah, happy to do that. And I'll made a lot of notes. So I'll be happy to welcome you again. Thank you for your time. And
Thank you.
We'll be connected on the Facebook as well.
Absolutely. I can't wait to share your glow. Hey, Tony.
How are you?
Terrific.
This was awesome. Awesome sauce. And I just thank you so much for what you did. I've just been a circadian for a little bit of time, but I'm right at home. I'm happy to be here. I'm learning so much. It's just exciting, really exciting. Just real quickly, I'm a type 2 diabetic for over 17 years, and I am now 101 days without my 3 different diabetic medications. And I'm losing weight. I feel good. And now I'm a part of the Circadians. And I have this wonderful experience with Andy Lyons. And I'm following her on Blab and on Twitter. And this is just awesome. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
It was awesome. And I'm just so happy to be in this place. So I just wanted to come on and share that with you. It is so good to meet you. It's so good to hear you. And everything that everybody has been sharing about you prior to you even coming on, the excitement was actually building. And so now I understand. And so you give me to think about. So thank you so much. And I'm going to hop off and let someone else come in. But it's extremely uplifting to meet you. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Tony. Please let me know how I can support you everywhere you glow as well.
I will. Ron and Michelle, good to see you as well.
Thank you, Tony.
Hey, Michelle, tell us about yourself.
Hi, Ron. Hi, Andy.
Hey, Michelle. God, it's
Your
Michelle.
energy is just flowing, and I love it. I just love it. Thank you so much for joining the program today, and I really learned a lot from your presentation. I am a circadian. I am also a dementia support and awareness advocate. My mother has the disease for 18 years now. She just turned 75. Yeah. I also help administer a Facebook group called Memory People, which is closed and was started by a patient who is active in the group. We have 13,000 members right now. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's patients, caregivers, and advocates all sharing the same, their stories and helping one another 24/7, 365, all around the world. We're on every continent.
Powerful. So powerful.
It is. And I'd like to spread that message out on Blab, but it's a dark subject. It's a very dark subject. So how do you bring energy to something so difficult and dark?
Just like you did. You spoke with such passion, such compassion for the topic. And so when you bring your level of authority, you've really stepped into who you are and your deep understanding through your own experience, through your own studying, through your own sharing with everybody. You make it safe for others to go there, where you're not going to go down a rabbit hole and sob hysterically over the pain and sorrow that you're suffering from and the grieving. You're talking about with an open heart and meaningful ways to deal with the issue. And so many people need to hear what you have to say. And, look at you sitting there. I mean, it gives me goosebumps. You need to be out there sharing this and having it for folks. Somebody, in the middle of the night will find it because they will find you on Facebook. They'll find you on YouTube. They'll find you on Blab. They'll watch it again. You will help somebody, and that will have a huge ripple effect. So showing up, as you are right here is enough. Especially, on a dark topic like that. I mean, Andy Grant talks a lot about suicide. Something he tried 3 different times until he learned how to be in his body in this lifetime, in this world. And that's a very dark subject, but he brings love and light and energy to it. And, we all have a reason to be here and a purpose. And having this live interaction makes it more approachable and easier for people to know that they're not alone, especially on these kind of topics. So thank you so much.
Thank you. That was great. That was actually very inspiring for me because I've been hesitant to jump on because it is so dark.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people. Oh, here comes Stan. Yeah. I guess Stan has something to add.
You have it, Michelle. You have the energy, the presence, the deep understanding. I see it, feel it. And as long as you bring, your consistent message, how you promote the event consistently, always stay focused on being consistent in how you do it, you will reach many people, and they need you.
Thank you. That was a great compliment. Thank you.
I only jump back in to say what an excellent confirmation about, why we asked you to tell us how you host, because she did. The way that she approaches that and describes it is just spot on. You can tell that it's meaningful to her. It's all that stuff that everybody talks about, authenticity, right? But they say be authentic, and then all of a sudden you say something that's really authentic, and they go, don't be that authentic, but it's.
You have to remember it is polite company. So unless you have a raunchy show.
Yes. Yes.
You want to keep it, in terms and ways and that are, for the mainstream audience.
Yeah, we don't do any of that. We have right now, if somebody comes in our group, there's like 7 people with their fingers on the trigger. I would like to ask you this, is that one of the things that we do, like we're one of the only groups that wear ties, right? Inside of the Blabbus. Yeah, we actually talked about this before. We think that's one of the reasons why we don't get as many interruptions as some of the shows, because it kind of gives this impression that that's not where we're about. If you want to do that somewhere else, I don't.
Again, Stan, you've done the branding. You've set the tone. You've set the commitment. You're showing up in a particular way. That's your brand, and you're bringing it every time. People get it. And those, who don't will be, booted out if they come in inappropriately, but it will not happen because you, again, have set the tone with your brand message.
And I'm not going to answer that question from Chef Dennis.
Before you jump back out again, Stan, and while I have you and Andy here, we have a question from Scott. How do you suggest incorporating a sound clip into a blab?
When you upload it to YouTube and edit it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I still think you really need to take your blab, brand it, and put it up on YouTube. I really, really feel strongly about that. And then you can add in so many more promo pieces and informational pieces with some quick editing, whether you use YouTube's or not. I don't think, Scott, that it has what the Google platform has, but remember, it still says beta up there to the right of the blab icon. So perhaps someday they'll have that capability. What do you guys think?
I think that you answered it right. Is that, if you're going to upload it, you can use the YouTube editor to add the music into the blab. If he's talking about like you did, see, I like the way you did it because that's really spontaneous and it's just natural and it's authentic. You just play it, right? But if you're going to add it to the thing, it's like a soundtrack or something, that's a little bit different. But I'm going to step out again because I see Eileen is here and I want to make sure that she gets a chance to say hello to you. I see Tim Gillette. If you don't know Tim, if he pops in sometimes and then leaves really quick, but if he's still here, I would love for him for you to meet him. And of course, Chef Dennis, it's always a pleasure to see him in. But they're going to get me out because you can take him you can dress him up, but you can't take him anywhere.
I'm going to jump out too, but I want to say, Andy, it was really a pleasure to be here with you today, and you brought a lot of energy and excitement and great knowledge, and I thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you again.
I am so glad we connected, and please let me know how I can serve you.
Yeah, I just followed you on Twitter too, so I'll see you there.
Great. Get the bar.
Okay, we have some time left. We try to deliver on a promise here, Andy, that we keep it to 25, 30 minutes, but I know we're going to run a little over that because of you today, and you have so much information to share. But if anybody else wants to come in, please do so. The seat is open and ask a question or make a comment.
Yeah, I'd like to also add too that I think as a host, especially if you've invited a guest, you should always thank them. And on your own, some people might throw a card in the mail. That's great. I do a thank you video to all my guests. I think someone who takes that time to be on your show deserves, the honoring of some good promotion and a thank you note at the end. But that's just me.
If nobody has a pencil handy, you got to watch the replay because Andy just threw out a bunch of information that is really great information, and what we should all look to do. Thank you, Andy. Hey, Tim, how are you?
I'm great, Ron. How are you? Andy, nice to meet
fine.
you. I just wanted to,
how are you, Tim?
To second that conversation, I want to tell you, a friend of mine, just radio show years ago, was a guest on my show. And he was at the beach. He goes to the beach and he just sat there with a recorder. And every radio show he was on, he sat there and made a video for every host and then sent it to him. I mean, and Michael Stevenson's his name. He's a great guy. I mean, he had his own radio show.
I love is it Michael Stevenson, the NLP? And yeah, I love Michael.
Yeah, I knew him and his wife before they got married.
Oh, so, that's great, Tim. He's great. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Andy. So, hey, Ron, how's it going? I'm sorry I jumped in the last part of the conversation, so you guys catch me up on what you're talking about. So,
well, we're talking about like today is always how to host a blab, but Andy was giving us her point of view on what she does as a blab host and how she conducts it and things that she does on her blab. Scott just had a question there. Can you wear a bow tie? Yes. Tony wears a bow tie and he looks great in it. But anyway, Tim, that's what the discussion was today.
I never wear ties. As a matter of fact, here comes Stan. It's funny. I was my local Starbucks. They started the evening thing, so they have wine and beer in the evening. They're one of few in Texas that has it, and they had to start wearing ties. And I said, I worked for Starbucks for 5 years. I said, that would have been the death of me. I was like, that's it. I would have quit over wearing a tie. Now, you gentlemen look good in a tie. This does not look good in a tie. I'm just saying.
Well, I will. I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer something, an unspoken thing, and that is like I pop in and out, and I pop in and out, and I pop in and out because that's the way I do because it worked for Snapchat. So. So
actually, we only let Stan come in for 30 seconds to a minute at a time. So
he gets 30-second blip.
Yeah, they'll X me out. I'll be in the middle of something to be like, bam.
Oh, I tell you, I met so many great people on Google Plus. So many great people. And I go back and forth, and I'd love to know what other hosts are doing for event invites. I found the Google Plus event invites very effective because they sent out the email the day before the show. Hey, remember, we're going live. Blab, I really don't feel has that figured out yet. So you as the host have to make sure people know about your show. Mm-hmm. I'm using Facebook event invites at this point in time because I feel that that is where most of my audience dwells. However, I promote my show on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Google Plus, everywhere I glow, for promotional purposes. And then post, I do heavy promotion. And of course, it's on my website. But anybody have any thoughts on, the event invite and making sure, scheduling tweets ahead of time, perhaps with folks who have expressed interest or subscribed to make sure that they're reminded to show up? I'm still working that out.
When I was good, when I first started my radio show, now I'm not as good. So I'm stating that for the record that, I went downhill on this. But that back then I had 10 listeners. Okay, now I've got millions. It's kind of harder. But, when we all start in the beginning, we all come up with this. I need to do this. And I had a system down to where every week I would send something out 2 days before, 1 day before, morning of the show. And then after the show, I would send something out, and 2 days after. And I had it on my Twitter, my Facebook. I would create events. I did so many different things back then. And it's funny, I was at an event last November, and I told people when I left it, it's a mastermind I'm part of. And while I'm there, I'm like one of the senior people in the mastermind now. I've been there 5 years. And I said, for the first time in my life, I came home and I was jealous of the new guy. I wanted to be that new guy again, because it's something about some of us want to do so many things when we go out, but we don't implement the systems to last. All right. Or with growth. All right. And I'm thankful my show has grown. I'm a very thankful guy for that. But man, I didn't implement systems to deal with the growth. And now it's like I'm trying to grow this, and I wish I would have it like you did. You know what I mean?
You brought up a really great point, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
The systems are key, and again, as you'll fine tune them. But just like any mini business plan for launching a new product or a business, you really want to have these things in place. Even how to set up for a Blab or any of your shows. But yes, you're going to do this. So, for example, I will add a photo and a comment every day prior to a show. As far as the promotional things, everything I do is in a list and a system, and you're just so spot on to bring that up. Thank you.
Yeah,
I have to. I don't want to interrupt too much, but I have to tell you that's exactly. We have every day a 9:00 clinic in the circadians, and that's what we talk about is things like that. And today's exact thing that we talked about was checklist. Is that that's why you have a checklist, because that way if you're expecting me to remember it, good luck. I can barely remember. Yeah. So you have a checklist, and I agree. I understand what Tim's talking about too. Is that when you first start out, you're really good on that checklist, and all of a sudden you got all this other stuff that you're trying to get done. But anyway, again, this is why they don't let me stay in. So I'm going to get out again.
Come on, you're good, Stan. My first book I wrote in 3 weeks. My second book, it was almost a month to get it done. I'm 3 months on my third book, and I don't think I got 1/4 of it done. And I'm like, you get busy. And I mean, here's the thing I'm learning now, and this is hard for me to learn, is I'm hiring staff now that I was like, you get so stuck on holding that money. All right. And I've got to hire staff. There's things I can't do. You know what I mean?
It starts to cost you money by not delegating. So don't hesitate to delegate.
And truthfully, that's what brings that's what hiring staff to do is, guys, that's what supports the economy. And I'm guilty, guys. I haven't done it. I don't hire enough people.
Okay.
It brings up a couple of questions. To get back to Andy, Scott asked another question. Andy, you are putting a lot of faith in Twitter to survive despite Wall Street's worries. Can you comment? I would just like to say you can use these other platforms to send people and get them interested and send them to what you really want them to go to. So it's not just that we're using Blab or Twitter or Periscope as our main source. We're using it to promote where we want to get people to go to. Your thoughts on that, Andy?
Well, it'd be still my heart if anything ever happened to Twitter. I love being able to hone a conversation and a message down to 140 characters. I love the quick connection, and I'm very specific on how I use Twitter. It really is about engagement. Scott, my fingers are crossed that nothing will happen to Twitter. It's just so popular for anything. The Super Bowl is a great example. So many people use it to stay on top of all the current events as well as journalists. That said, I'm an equal opportunity social media platform user. I love them all. And I have a specific system for how I use and a purpose and a why for every single one of them. And I think you just have to find your own trifecta. If you're on LinkedIn, then you're going to want to absolutely use Twitter. And what will be your third way of reaching? You need a triangle, I believe.
Well, I am such an honest, straightforward person that I have to tell you this. Don't hesitate, delegate. I'm stealing that. I am definitely stealing it. There's no doubt. That was just, I like that. I actually like, when you get the branding stuff, there's so much to you, right? That's one of the reasons there's an awful lot. I've tried to talk Tim into actually, I want him to be a co-host in here too, but to tell us his secrets, But when you do it, you never fail. Everywhere you glow, right? You've got that glow thing, you have got that branded, you have got that down. It's just it's amazing to me. I mean, I just think you're the bomb. Again,
don't stop.
I'm going to tell you a little secret too. Just a minute ago, I always get screenshots of everybody, and usually there's this thing where I go, okay, everybody smile. I didn't have to do that with you. Right. I can just take a screenshot and it's going to be there.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, this is the last time for me. Do what?
I said you took a screenshot of my hair all messed up.
yeah, that was
a bad hair day here.
Okay.
So do I, Jim. I have one too.
Yeah, you have a bad hair day too. So let's do one more. I will say everybody smile for this particular screenshot because I've got something that I'm ready for on this. All right. Got it.
You know what, folks? We're past what we normally say. I would love to stay here with Andy for hours, but she's got things to do. Stan, I know, is busy. We keep him busy as well as other people do. Tim, thanks for dropping by. And we, as much as I hate to, maybe Andy, we could get you back another time.
How great would that be? So delicious. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we're going to have to, we could go on, but we're just going to have to put an end to this, and we'll see you folks tomorrow on how to embed a blab. Andy, great having you with us today. And folks, if you're not following Andy, please follow her and
thank you.
And watch what it is.
I have 3 great shows coming up. So tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, I have Manny Fernandez talking about equity crowdfunding. It's a phenomenal way to get capital and raise capital for your business. And he's an angel investor, just a top crowdfunding expert. And then next week I have the branding expert, David Breyer, on my show, and it's going to be all about why nobody gives a blankety blank about your brand. And it's, helping people to stop talking about what's in it for the business and talk about what's in it for your clients. And then the following week on the 25th, I have Akeem Noack talking about his wonderful new book, The Moment. And it's about mindfulness, and which, again, we can get distracted, right, Tim? Especially when things get busy, and trying to stay mindful as business owners and entrepreneurs, et cetera, is key. So thank you for letting me do my shameless plug.
Oh, no
Right
problem.
Here on Blab, Possibility Partner Show.
You can plug anything you do on here anytime at all.
Thank you.
Listen, anytime you can do a drive-by plug, right? You can just drive by and plug it. We're good with it because we think that much of you. And again, Ron, the policeman, is nudging me. So
Yep,
I'm going to deliver on the promise
Tim.
and really get out. Thanks, Tim. We'll see you guys.
Bye.
Bye. I'm going to stop the recording.